Welcome to This Old Camera. I'm your host Azriel Knight, and today I'm showing you an SLR with the longest production run in history.
Enter a world of photographic values at Shutan Camera, Wacker Drive at LaSalle. Now at Shutan, you'll find the all Pentax K1000 outfit, complete with Pentax K1000 camera, regular and telephoto lenses, automatic flash, and Pentax compartment case. This total Pentax outfit is now Shutan priced at a remarkable $289.95. Complete.
Shoot with the best, your cost is less. It's Shutan.
Shutan Camera, downtown on Wacker Drive at LaSalle.
The Pentax K1000 is a clockwork-driven 35mm SLR with a bayonet-style lens mount and all manual features. This means, besides a matchstick light meter, it requires no battery to operate. It was originally released in 1976 and stayed in production until 1997. That means the camera was a staple in the industry from when my father was in high school all the way up until I was. While other major companies like Nikon and Canon were putting microcomputers in their SLRs, Pentax, at least for this model, was stripped right down to the bare essentials. Its design is based on the Spotmatic screw mount SLRs from the 1960s and is named after the lens type, the K mount, which was first introduced about a year before. The 1000 stands for the maximum shutter speed. Popular Photography stated in their April 1995 issue that it's the longest running SLR model of all time. In 2010, Time magazine's technology editor placed it in his all-time top 100 gadgets since 1923. This camera has made its way into pop culture through movies, television, and books. Not to mention caught the eye of celebrities like Drew Barrymore, who spent over 10 years shooting with the K1000. Pentax claimed in 2006 that over the course of 50 years, they made over 24 million lenses that would provide at least some functionality on the K1000 body. This year marks the 40th anniversary since the release of the Pentax K1000, and it still remains a relevant choice for film photography today, especially if you want to drill in those fundamentals. From here, we'll go over some basics of its operation. Then I'll put it through tests to make sure it's working. After that, I'll go out and shoot with it, and finally, I'll share some thoughts and tell you where you can get one, how much it will set you back, and if it's worth it. Though a battery is not required to take photos, you'll need one to power the meter. You can use a quarter to unscrew the cover at the bottom and place an LR44 or equivalent battery inside. Pentax is a simple bayonet mount. Just locate the dots on the camera and lens and turn clockwise. To release the lens, push this safety lock and rotate counterclockwise. To load a roll of 35mm film, pull up on this knob until the back door opens. Place the film inside and push the knob back down while rotating until it's flush as before. Draw the film across, being careful not to touch the shutter curtain. Place the film lead into the slot, line up the sprockets, advance once to ensure the camera uptakes the film. If there's any slack, you can tighten by rotating the left knob backward gently. As you advance, you'll see the left side rotate. That's how you know the film is moving along. To set the ISO, lift this outer ring on the shutter dial and rotate left or right to your desired setting. Since the meter is always on, all you'll need to do is adjust your shutter and aperture until the needle levels off. You can now advance the film and take your photo. A small window with an orange indicator will tell you if your film is ready. The PC sync is located at the front and your flash sync speed is 1/60. When you've taken all your shots, you won't be able to advance further. Press this button on the bottom, lift this lever, and rotate until you no longer feel resistance. My K1000 was made sometime between 1977 and 1981 during the second major production run in Japan. I've used it on and off for the past 7 years, so I was expecting some wear on the shutter. I meter my camera with this shutter tester that has a sensor on one end and a light source on the other. I place them on either end of my camera and I take my readings in subdued light. You can see that time has not been too kind to my camera, but it's really not nearly as bad as it looks. The largest deviation is at the top, where my 1/1000 setting only produces a duration of about half that, or 1 f-stop. If I had trusted the meter, or even used an external one, my photos on that setting would be 1 f-stop brighter than they should be. To combat that, I kept the shutter readouts in my pocket during the field test. I also compared the onboard meter with my Sekonic meter on an evenly lit surface and got the same results. I shot and developed using all Kodak products including Kodak T-Max 100 for film, HC110 for developer, an indicator stop bath, a hardening fixer, HypoClear, and PhotoFlow 200. Here are the results of my field test. Even though I have had this camera for a number of years, it has been quite some time since I've used it. I was pretty sure the shutter wasn't going to jam, as I had triggered it more than a dozen times during my test, but I wasn't 100% about the light seals. Thankfully, I had no issues. I used a Pentax 200mm f4 almost exclusively for the entire roll. I normally shoot with wide-angle lenses, and I wanted to challenge myself. Let's talk about some pros and cons. There's next to nothing between you and the film, making this an ideal learning tool. Clockwork operation means no battery necessary to operate. If you shoot with an external meter anyway, this is one less thing to worry about. No off button means that if you forget to put the lens cap on, you may kill the battery. I honestly had a hard time coming up with more cons. If this camera was a calculator, it'd be an abacus. Let me put it another way. The K1000 is kind of like a screwdriver, and DSLRs like the K10D is more like a power drill. If you hate screwdrivers, it's generally not because the instrument is flawed, it's because it's too hard or too underpowered for the job that you're trying to accomplish. So if you love the minimalistic experience and are trying to stick to the fundamentals, then the K1000 remains a top choice for film photography. If you plan to buy one on eBay, you might get confused at the wide range in pricing. Often the camera is bundled with several lenses in a bag. There is no shortage of this model for sure, and many are still in great condition, a testament to the quality. I got over 700 results when I searched for K1000 sold in the last 30 days. Even when I added filters, I got these two listings from the same seller with a full $70 price difference. Getting one online looks pretty easy, but if you care how much you pay, then I might recommend waiting it out. Garage sales remain one of my favorite ways to find used cameras and accessories, and you'd be surprised how quickly you come across what you're looking for. I don't normally look on Kijiji or Craigslist, but in this case I'm glad I did because I saw two listings for reasonably priced K1000s. If I were shopping for one, I'd likely be calling the buyer right now. If you have one that you plan on selling, as you've probably guessed by now, it's a buyer's market and you might be sitting on it for a while. Below I have added some links that should help you narrow down when and where your camera was built. If you are serious about learning the fundamentals of film photography and are shopping for your first SLR, I highly recommend this one. Pentax lenses are compact, and so are the bodies. Also, like many other Pentax users, I swap my lenses out between film and digital SLRs. That wraps up this episode. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and let me know which camera you think I should review in the comments below. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, stay classic.